Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day. My name is Rebecca Rambo, and I am going to be talking to you about the application called Padlet. So, about Padlet. Padlet can be used by students and by teachers. With Padlet, you can create an online post-it board that you can share with your students or with other teachers. So, it's great for collaboration. Um, in in order to share with students or fellow coworkers, all you have to do is give them your unique link to the Padlet, and then anyone who you give that link to can access it. Padlet allows you to insert your ideas either anonymously or by using your name. Usually with my students, since we are a Google school, I have students log in with Google, since that is one way that you can log in. That way I know which students are posting on my Padlets. It's very easy and very handy to use. The basic version of Padlet is actually free. So you can have 3 boards in your account for free. Anything over that you then have to pay for. So in the past, I've just deleted past Padlets after I've used it for grading and then just recreated them if I wanted to. Or if you decide that you're going to buy into the app, it is $10 a month, or you can do a year for $96 instead. So you do get some savings if you use it for the entire year and if you're paying upfront with that. So how do you use Padlet? So you can install Padlet through an app on either Apple or Android on your phone, or you can use the Padlet website, which is padlet.com. That if you do a Google search, it's the first thing that also pops up. Once you are there, you just have to create your account. So there's some different ways that you can create an account. You can either sign in through Google, which I already mentioned is what I do with my students. If you have a Microsoft account or an Apple account, you can also log in that way. And if you don't want to use an Apple or a Microsoft or a Google account, you can also create an account using any email address. So Padlet is for sharing, and the board is easy to use. You can either send a link or a QR code, which is cool. So if you have students using a phone or an iPad, you can have the QR code available that they can scan using the camera feature, and it will take them right to the Padlet. If they are using the app, it will open in the app, or you can also set it to use an internet browser as well. They can continue as a guest if you don't have them log in. Again, I mentioned that I use Google, so my students log in using their Google account. I like it just so I can know who's posting when we're doing Padlets in class. So you can use this for different types of instruction. You can do it synchronously or asynchronously. So no matter what, that link is always live, so there's not a time limit as long as you still have the Padlet open. So during synchronous instructions, ways you can use that is during instruction to answer questions. You can use it to collaborate on different discussion points. You can use it for check-ins, exit tickets, class work. You can have them answer different questions based on readings. You can use it as a blog and a discussion post. And then asynchronously, you can also use it to answer questions after instruction. So if you are posting a link to students who are doing asynchronously, when they click the link, the Padlet will be live and you can have them fill out the information. You can do it for check-ins, exit tickets, classwork or homework, project signups, again, discussion board and prompts, and blogs, group discussions. I actually found a great tool online that says 30 ways that you can use a Padlet in your classroom, and some other ways that they said were brainstorming, a live question bank. You can gather students' work, since you can do more than just typing answers. You can post videos, you can post media, you can link other documents in there as well from other Google apps, which is a great thing. You can do it for icebreakers, check-ins, school events. It's like a big bulletin board as well. So if you have a class and let's say you're using it for your homeroom, it's great that you can post like upcoming announcements on there as well. Some other ways that you can do it in both settings, include a newsletter, you can do a birthday wall, current events, tips and tricks, as well as note-taking, class agenda. Sometimes you can use it for students in order to communicate with each other. So you could post questions like, how was your weekend? And students can answer, and then they can also respond to others and communicate that way, so they can build relationships if you are asynchronous or if you are 100% virtual. Since you don't have that face-to-face interaction, it's one way that students can communicate as well, which is great. So for effective association, so when you are using Padlet, it automatically updates as you go. You can use it like a blog to interact. You can also kind of use it as a chat feature as well, as long as anyone is active on the board. You can have students rate the post. You can have students like the post. You can enable it or disable it if you want to. You can also use emojis. I know a lot of students like to use different emojis when they're messaging friends. So that's also a cool feature that you can use, that you can communicate through emojis as well. When looking at community cohesion, it connects students together. So you could be anywhere and still have access to the same Padlet. It allows collaboration. It brings students together. And for me, it's important because it's user-friendly, especially for younger kids. So working with 5th graders, it's a really good intro step into using like a blog or discussion post, especially if they aren't familiar with blogging or doing a discussion. It's really easy for them to see and then to use. So since it's easy for them to use, they can respond a lot quicker, and then that allows them to go back and forth with other students when they are on that, which helps promote that sense of community. For instructors, there is a lot of cool tools that you can use. Teachers can create their own boards, or you can search through a bank of boards and actually use other boards as well, which is a cool feature. Teachers are able to monitor the board, so you can turn on and off comments. If you just want it to be a bulletin board, you can make sure students are logging in. The one thing that I think is really cool is that you can monitor language. So any language that is not appropriate they put there, you can have it replaced with an emoji. That way, if students are typing inappropriate things on there, you can actually block it. You can also enable it that you have to approve their comment before it is put on the Padlet, which is great. And the board can be locked. And what I mean by locked is you have to be able to see all of the responses before you submit them. So if the class is posting on a Padlet and you're monitoring the responses, you can select what items are being seen by the class. Interaction intensity. Students can respond once the Padlet is open, and it will stay open even if the teacher isn't in it per se. It updates automatically and everyone can see the posts. So it's an easy way to go back and forth while you are on it, since it updates automatically, which is great. So for knowledge and experience, it's very user-friendly, which is great. I know having a bunch of different platforms, sometimes it's hard to kind of maneuver. This one is pretty straightforward. It says add a comment, you can like it. You really don't need to have any experience with it in order to use it, which is great. Options for posts is also great if you don't like typing. For comments, you can have students upload videos or media, or do like a web post where they're talking into the camera. They can post links, they can post other documents, which is great as well. And also allows a diverse population to use it, just so that you're not limiting it to just text as well. So how is Padlet used for content? So this is a Padlet that I have created, and this is for an ELA class. So what you can do for a Padlet is you can write questions, and then you can have students respond and like. So as you see, it has a little heart right there. That means that you can like it, and then you can also click add comments as well. So what I would use this for in class, if we're doing a book finishing up, I might have students answer certain questions. So the directions are actually on the top where it says answer all questions and respond to 2 original posts. So what that means is you would answer your question kind of like we do for class, and then the students would have to respond to other students' posts. So as you can see, I have 3 questions for students that are related to language arts, and it says who's the main character, or how does the main character change up the story? Use evidence to support your answer. What is the theme of your story? Use an example to support your theme. And then who's your favorite character and why? So these are just 3 sample questions that I have come up with and that I've used in the past when using a Padlet. And then again, the students can answer and respond to the post. It definitely brings everybody together, and being able to record a video, to upload media, to type your responses, it kind of allows all users to be able to do this. So if you have a student who's not really great at spelling or typing, they could do a video, which is nice. And then everybody else can still see that and respond to that, which is awesome. So when I reviewed Padlet, I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars just because it is really user friendly. And I'm going to click here real quick just to bring up an example for you of the Padlet that I have created. So here you can see that you can add comments, you can like items, and then once you have comments, you can respond to them as well. When I look at my settings over here on the side, you see I can change the color, I can change the font, as well as I can do restrictions. So I have it on that they can use comments. I also have it on that to replace any profanity with an emoji. You can also set it to require the approval from a teacher, which I also mentioned earlier. So these are just some of the modifications. If you do buy the premium or pay for it, there are some other accommodations you can get. For me, using this in class and only having a few Padlets going is fine for me, and it works for me. So I don't need to have a lot of them, since I do change it up and they do change. After I grade it, I usually either I can delete it and I can always come back to it. They're really easy to create and they don't take a lot of time, which is nice. That way, if you do delete something and you need to make it again, it's pretty simple. You can also save it to the bank in Padlet, which means if you delete it, it's still out there that other people could use, so you can also find it again. So again, I really recommend Padlet. It's easy to use and it's very user-friendly. And my students really like it since it's like a bulletin board. They really like it when I do check-ins or talking about just stuff that they like to do, because then they can engage in it. Thank you for watching. I can't wait to watch everybody else's videos, and I hope you enjoyed mine. Have a great night.